All right, folks, going to take us into our next game of Week 13, which this one for me is a battle of disgust, okay? We have Ole Miss traveling to the Swamp on Saturday afternoon, where LSU basically should have just left on Saturday night, should have just packed up, not even showed up apparently. But we've got the Gators hosting the Rebels at 12 p.m. on Saturday afternoon in Gainesville. The ESPN FPI has Ole Miss at 78%. And the spread has Ole Miss by 10.5. So this one will be fun. I'm excited to see how this one shapes out. This is Ole Miss' last true test as they play Florida this week and Mississippi State next week, who they've been really, really, really bad this year, in the Egg Bowl during Thanksgiving on rivalry week next week. Florida is unfortunate they didn't get the Rebels off a bye week. However, they did just beat LSU on Saturday night, and so they get Ole Miss now to follow up in the Swamp this Saturday at 12 p.m. So here's something to think about. Florida is 3-1 in games where DJ Lagway has started and finished the game. We know that Ole Miss has weaknesses, but will the Gators be able to exploit them? This game has trap game written all over it, especially for really both teams, because Florida is going to face a struggling Florida State team next week in the Battle of the Sunshine State. So, with that said, right back at you, Mason. I'm not going first. Who you got?
I think this game actually does have trap game written all over it. I think that Florida with DJ Lagway, Florida without DJ Lagway is cheeks. However, Florida with DJ Lagway is really good. I think that if he had stayed in the game, I'm not kidding, Florida may have gotten a win over Georgia. If he stays in the game, he was playing that good a ball, and our defense was not playing well until like the end of the fourth quarter. Maybe we would have come away with it, but it would not have been by 14. DJ Lagway is a star. Ole Miss, however, Jackson Dart, he's a great quarterback. Their defense plays well. They can get their receivers open in space. So my big question is that Florida defense. Now, they definitely do have the home field advantage here. Just ask LSU. Now, LSU is nowhere near as good as Ole Miss, but I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to take the Florida Gators in the Swamp this week to take down Ole Miss. I know that that's a crazy pick, but and some people might call me crazy for it, but it may not be that crazy. You may see the Gators and Billy Napier take down Lane Kiffin. That's just the way the SEC has been this year. We beat up on each other, man. And you never know who's going to be. You think that anybody on this podcast or on this show would have picked Vandy to beat Alabama in week 5 or week 6? Heck no. None of us. Not a single one of us. Things in the SEC have been crazy this year. I think Florida's getting hot at the right time. Ole Miss coming off a bye could spell trouble, but maybe not, because this is their last real game before that. So they're putting all their eggs into this one basket. Get it? Because the Egg Bowl's next week. But I do have Florida in this one.
Yeah, I can't agree with that. I got to go Ole Miss. I think Florida, they had a good game against LSU, but I think Ole Miss is definitely a better team than LSU. They're kind of a little more on the hot side right now with more talent than Florida. Yes, it's at Florida. It's going to be a tough game. Don't get me wrong. I don't think they're going to cover, but I still have Ole Miss winning this.
So Florida has a chance to take Billy Napier from the hot seat to the golden chair, okay? Because just 4 weeks ago, we had LSU talking about, we've got Brian Kelly. Aren't we glad we didn't get Billy Napier? Billy Napier is trash, blah, 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 blah. Well, all I know is that last week, which I guess now would be 2 weeks ago, the Florida Athletic Administration looked at Napier and said, we've got you. You're our guy. We're going to stick with you. Well, that guy just beat the other guy, who is Brian Kelly. With that said, this is a tough pick. I am also going to take – oh, man, this is tough. I'm going to take the Rebels to win this game, but I do think Florida covers. Florida has a great chance to win this game. It's a one-score game either way. I think Ole Miss probably by 3. Florida very well could win this game. I'm not confident in this pick at all. I think they cover. I think Florida covers the spread, but I do think Ole Miss leaves Gainesville with a win. But if not, Florida State's going to make Billy Napier a very happy man next 2 weeks. They should beat the Seminoles in 2 weeks after this. So, with that said.